What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. You guys are on ShitTalkTV, and I am, of course, Michelle Velez. Thank you for joining me today. Listen, I just want to take 2 seconds to thank everyone for joining and, just being a part of, my journey from nothing and hopefully to something. There's a point behind all of this, and I know in all of my videos, I kind of say it every single time, and that's just everybody has a past. I have a past, you have a past, everybody else has a past, and nobody ever talks about their past. And especially and even famous people, they don't really get into detail of what they had to go through so that they can become as successful. They just give you bits and pieces all the time. No, I want to tell you guys the super raw and just everything that had to do with my past that kind of led me to this realization in my mind where I wanted to make a change. I wanted to make a big change. I didn't want to keep living life like everybody else. Waking up, brushing my teeth, going to work, coming home, being tired, going to sleep, doing it again and again and again. I wasn't the type of person that wanted to even wake up and go to school. Get up, brush my teeth, get ready for school, go to school, sit in class, try and learn things that we're not ever going to talk about when we become adults. I remember thinking to myself when I was about 10 years old that we're all put here for a reason, right? But for some crazy reason, we're kind of forced and pushed into one direction, and that's going to school so that you could get a good job and then stay in that job for 40, 50, 60 years so that you could retire and use all the money from your retirement to kind of live out the rest of your life. And I'm like, what the hell? There's no way I'm ever gonna do that. I'm not gonna bust my ass to make somebody else's company become so big, and I'm over here making $9 an hour, $10 an hour, $12 an hour. Who wants to make this much money an hour? And it's not even so much about money. I just don't want to be what society forces everybody to be. Don't you agree? Don't you want something more? Because I definitely want so much more than what anybody has ever told me that I was able to achieve. I just want so much. I want to do so much so that when I'm old and I'm sitting in my little grandma rocking chair, because I'm going to have a rocking chair. I like those things. When I'm sitting in my rocking chair, I want to think to myself, wow, look at all these things I said that I wanted to accomplish, and I'm over here. I've done what I needed to do to succeed in my life. Yes. I only was able to come to that realization that I wanted something so much more than what I was, kind of given, or just what my path sort of was before. And I was like, wow, this is who you are, Michelle? Do you really want to stay that person for the rest of your life? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. I've never let anything ever stop me from trying to do something that I kind of wanted to do. That's why I say at the ending of all my videos, if you are interested in something, just go do it. Just try it out, because you never know what that thing is gonna do for you, So enough with that. I'm on a crunch time, so I shouldn't be dragging out this video. Today is Sunday, and I have to edit this very video today for tomorrow, Monday. And then my wife had all 4 of her teeth removed, so her face is this big, and I've just been trying to help her. So I told her, look, why don't you go relax yourself in the beautiful shower? You go relax. So she's in the shower, relaxing, and I'm over here recording so that I can put out a video for you guys tomorrow. So let's get started, people. Let's open up this beautiful cookie jar of stories on my past. Oh my God, do I love the sound of this jar opening. Yes, I do, and I know you do too. All right, let's shake it up, guys. Let's shake it up. No, I swear to God, I didn't look. Let's do it again. Shake it up. Put my hand in. All right, this seems long. I always grab the long ones. Uh-oh, what is it? It's so long. This says being homeless and what I did while I was in the streets. See that? Oops, I ripped it. No. I gotta put it inside of my little tin of finished stories. All right, so how do I want to get into this story? Let me think. Oh. Okay, homeless. I know you're probably thinking homeless. You were homeless? Yeah, in fact, I was homeless for 2 years. 2 years before my lovely wife scooped me up out of the trash can and said, you're never gonna be homeless again. True story. All right, so back in around 2010, 2012, my house was raided and and my parents had to do some time for some stuff. Now, after my mom was sentenced to 14 months in prison, my house was shut down. We lived in a really big house out in Brooklyn. 3 stories, a bunch of bedrooms, a humongous 2-sided backyard. It was just gorgeous. My goodness, was it gorgeous. And the marshals locked down my house, the house that I was born and raised in since I was, well, born. They locked it literally with like a humongous chain and lock. One of my brothers went through the back window or the back door or something, and they got into the house. They broke open the gate, and we were able, not allowed, but we were able to get back into the house and sleep. I mean, it was crazy. There was no water in the house. I mean, obviously there was no copper pipes. The way I had to take a shower, I'm not even joking. I have a picture somewhere, but I'm kind of naked, so I don't know if I'm allowed to show it. But I was on my roof with maybe 8 gallons of water. So I would wet myself, put the soap on my body, rinse my body off with the other gallons. And yeah, that's how I did it. Where I got the gallons of water from was across the street at a fire hydrant. So we would just open it up and then just fill up the water right there across the street. And that's how I would take a shower. So my house was raided. My parents went to jail, and it was hard for us to stay inside the house because we were always afraid of cops showing up and trying to kick us out of the house or arrest us for trespassing. So we really had to be careful. We weren't allowed to be in the house, period. So you know where I used to shower, you know where I used to brush my teeth. That was on the roof. I did have a couple of friends that lived across the street. I had some people who were just a few train stops away. So I would just jump on the train, go to a friend's house, take a shower, maybe sleep there for like a day or 2. But I was working at a bar as a bar back. So I was homeless first, and then I got the job at the bar. So whatever I was making at the bar, it was never enough. I mean, maybe like $70 in a day. So it wasn't really a lot in New York to afford an apartment or even a room by myself. So I would use that money for maybe some food, maybe some clothes, and then I became like a real strong alcoholic. So a lot of my money after was going to alcohol and cigarettes and marijuana and whatever the hell else I wanted to just kind of consume at those times. But okay, so where I slept wherever I laid my head. If I was tired and I was in a park, I pulled out my pillow. I had a really big luggage with me. I had all my clothes, I had all my books, I had my sneakers, my dirty clothes, and my clean clothes inside of one luggage. So I would take out my little pillow that I had inside of the luggage, and again, if I was in a park on a bench, I would just take the pillow, put it on the bench, hold my luggage really close to me. I would pull up like the arm to the luggage, hold the luggage, and then kind of wrap my foot sort of around it and then lay with it, just in case somebody was going to try and walk past and snatch my luggage. I was going to have a nice little tight grip on it. So I would sleep on benches. I would go to my friends' houses while they were asleep, and I would sleep under their stairs because, like, I don't want to get into how like their apartments look, but there was like a part where you can kind of sit underneath the stairs. So I would go underneath the stairs, sit on one of the chairs that they had in their little yard, and I would just kind of curl up in a ball and sleep there. If I had to use the bathroom and I was right there, look, there's a bunch of little bushes. I would take a piss behind a bush, take a shite behind a bush. No matter what, I always had a roll of tissue. After a while, I had a friend who felt bad for me. It was a woman, it was a girl. She let me stay with her for a couple of months, and I would clean up her house. She would always have like a million people over, make her breakfast. I was always hungover because she drank more than anybody I've ever met in my life. So I would cook, clean, organize everything. I was expecting to kind of live with her for a really long time. So I think she just kind of got tired of me living with her, and then eventually she told me kind of nicely, like, hey, I'm gonna have all my friends, you stay over, so I think you should just leave tonight. I'm like, it doesn't even make sense. You've had a million people stay over your house a million different times, and I've lived here and helped you cleaned up after everybody. Like, I don't get it. What's the real deal here? She ended up telling me basically that a couple of people just didn't feel comfortable with me around, which was just, it was bullshit. And if somebody felt some type of way, then it was her roommate that felt some type of way. day, and I don't know why, because I did everything for them. So I ended up becoming homeless again. I didn't stay with her for that long. It was only a few months. I got kicked out, whatever. And then I moved on again. I would sleep on the train, and the train would just go from one stop to the next stop to the next stop, all the way to the last stop, and then do it all over again backwards. So I would just sleep and just keep checking the time, like, okay, it's only been 3 hours. Let me close my eyes and go back to sleep. And I was still a teenager. I was, 17, 18, 19. I started to become like a little thief. I lost my job because I was an alcoholic, and I broke everything inside of the bar one night. I just got drunk, broke the windows in the bathroom, and I don't know what happened. I just remember staring at myself in the mirror, like all dazed out and like just mad dizzy. And I don't know, I was just staring at myself, and I just boom, punched the mirror, punched it again. The glass fell all over the place, and I fall to the floor. I'm on my knees, and I'm looking at my reflection in the broken glass, and I'm just like, what are you doing, Michelle? You're gonna lose your job. You've already lost your family. You have nothing. Now you're gonna lose your job. As soon as I open the door, my boss is right there. He's like, what happened? I'm like, I fell. And then I just ended up leaving and walking out of the bar like, I quit. After all of that stuff started to happen, I lost my job. Hurricane Sandy happened. Now, Hurricane Sandy is a whole different other story that I'm gonna have to get into. But Hurricane Sandy did happen when I was homeless. I was staying in New Jersey at the time, and I ended up finding my way back all the way to New York from New Jersey, and I stood in the abandoned house that I was raised in. Remember, I was just saying that in the beginning of the video. So yeah, I went back to that house, and I was staying there with my brother, my sister. That's where I ended up living out the rest of like my homelessness. So I guess I wasn't homeless anymore because I had a place to stay now. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I ended up just staying there at my old house, and shortly after me getting back to Brooklyn from New Jersey, that's when I already knew my wife, but then like I met her in a whole different setting alone, and it was different. You know, it's not like the way we used to like hang out back in the day, and we'll all just get together in one like house and we'll play like drinking games and we'll all just hang out as like friends. No, I bumped into her outside in the street randomly. She was by herself, which this is a whole nother story too, so I'm not really gonna get into it. But then I saw her and I went up to her, we started talking, and we ended up, hanging out all freaking night. And then, at that point, she, within like 4 or 5 days, I promise you, my wife was like, you're moving in with me, and that's it. I ended up moving in, and that's basically it. I wasn't homeless anymore, and I've always had a place from there. This apartment here is hers. The car that I be driving is technically hers. The only thing I own is my clothes and my motorcycle. But she takes care of everything. Right now I'm doing my YouTube, so she's like, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. You, for the first time, focus on yourself and do something that you love, and just focus on you for now. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna become something so much more bigger than what I could ever imagine. I swear to God. She's like, you know what, babe, I got your back. You go do it, you focus, and I'll take care of everything else. And I'm like, okay, babe, you got it. And now here I am doing what I love. All right, guys, so that's it. You guys have it. There's your story. Like always, you guys stay safe, be happy, stay focused. Don't let nobody get to you. If you want to be something in the world, just go be it. If you have a dream, go live out your dream, and tell everybody to go screw themselves, because you're here for a reason. You're not here to make that person happy or that person happy. Your mom, your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend, your wife. You're not here to make anybody happy. If they become happy, then they're happy. But your job is not to make them happy. Your job is to find your purpose and to be happy for yourself. Find self-love, love yourself, and yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week. I put out a video every single Monday, so hit the little bell down below as well so you can get notified every single time I put out a freaking video. All right, you guys stay safe. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace. Boom. Finished. Oh, this happens every time.